pregnancy is no joke.
Terrified of having to go through IVF. I just want to know what's going on. When they say there's going to be discomfort, that means that there is going to be pain. The result of going through all of this, like, uncomfort and pain is that we're going to have some answers. So I was really afraid.
There's two lines. Pregnant. Holy shit. I'm excited to have a little family with Will. I'm scared of miscarrying. I have an idea for how I'm gonna tell him.
We did it!
The ultrasound went really bad. I've never been someone who knew 100% that I wanted to be a mom. I know plenty of women in my life who have known for sure that they wanted to be a mom since they were children themselves, but I just never really felt that way. I've never really had that strong desire and that maternal instinct, but I've never really felt the opposite of that either. I've always just sort of been indifferent. I was kind of in the middle. Before Will and I got engaged, we talked a lot about what we wanted for our future, what our future life together would look like. And during those conversations, when it came to having kids, I was still unsure. For basically my entire adult life, I was just waiting for the desire to be a mom to kick in, my maternal instincts to take over and tell me now is the time. But that never really happened. Those feelings never really came. So in the end, I had to kind of make the decision for myself and not rely on Mother Nature to make the decision for me. And in the end, I decided that that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to have a family with my best friend. I was 33 when I started my fertility journey. I had never been pregnant before, and I had been off chemical birth control since I was 27. They really scare you when you're a teenager, and they make getting pregnant sound like the easiest thing in the world, but that is not always the case. After trying to get pregnant for a year, we had our first appointment with a fertility doctor to try to figure out what was going on.
I have an appointment for my brows in like 20 minutes, so I have a little bit of time, and I've just been thinking about our appointment this morning. We had our first, I guess, doctor's appointment with a fertility doctor, and I don't know if I'm gonna share this journey or not, but I figured I would just record some of my thoughts about how I'm feeling along the way, just in case. Terrified of having to go through IVF. Honestly, I feel like I would almost rather not get pregnant than go through IVF, but we'll deal with that when we come to it, if we come to it. Mostly I'm feeling very calm, and I'm feeling like I just want to know what's going on. I'm mostly curious about why we can't get pregnant. I think we're on like our 14th or 15th month of trying at this point. And I will just say, we were so desperate to get pregnant naturally that we waited until we had tried for 12 months before we started the like medical process. And it has been 4 months since we initially reached out. So I wish that we had started the process earlier. If you're older, if you're in your mid-30s or late 30s, I would recommend starting before the suggested time, because everything just takes forever, especially in Canada. But yeah, I'm feeling like we could be so happy, just me and Will. I would have all of my money and all of my time, and I wouldn't have to be pregnant, and I wouldn't have to give birth. Those are two things that I'm absolutely dreading. But it would feel a little bit lonely. We already kind of feel that way watching our friends with their babies. Like, I love my friends' babies so much, and it's so special to have them in our lives, and I feel really close to them, and I love seeing them and spending time with them. But there is like this feeling of almost jealousy of like wanting what our friends have with their little families. So I imagine we would experience that for literally our entire lives, as our friends' kids are going through all of their milestones and growing up. So that would be something that we would have to deal with. But yeah, I think that we could be happy either way. I know I could. Will feels very differently. He feels very strongly and very passionately that he wants to have a family. So at the moment, I'm feeling very calm. I'm feeling very relaxed. Today's appointment was basically useless. We had previously filled out a kind of questionnaire form about our histories, and the doctor basically just looked it over with us. And then at the end, she said that her assistant would contact us to make some appointments for some blood tests, some ultrasounds, and a sperm test. So now we have to wait, have those tests done, and then we'll have to get back in with the fertility doctor. So I think it'll be a few months now until we see the fertility doctor again. So this is gonna be a long process, but yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hopeful that it's an easy fix, because there's still that possibility right now, but I'm definitely not as hopeful as Will. I think Will truly feels like nothing's wrong and that we'll just be able to keep trying naturally and it'll happen. But I do feel like, considering the fact we've been trying for 14 months or 15 months and we haven't even had a pregnancy scare, like my period just comes on time to the day every single month, I'm feeling like there's gonna be an issue. So we'll see. But yeah, those are my thoughts and feelings today, September 25th, post first appointment with the fertility doctor.
The first couple times we tried to get pregnant, I was honestly so scared. Pregnancy and giving birth are terrifying things to me, and those felt very imminent. Nonetheless, we were on our way and we tried for month after month after month and nothing at all. The process of trying to get pregnant gets old really quickly. Month after month of trying, only to be let down every single month by my period arriving to the day on time every single time. It was really tough. It becomes sort of all-consuming in your life because you're in this cycle of waiting and bleeding and waiting and bleeding and waiting and bleeding. And it's just nonstop because you're tracking your cycle, keeping track of where you're at in that cycle every single day of the month. And I really came to dread the experience and absolutely hate the process. After my first meeting with the fertility doctor, I had to wait until my period came again, and then I went in for my first round of tests.
Hello. I hope it's not too windy. So the first two tests were blood work and then transvaginal ultrasound. So those are what I did today. It's my first time doing any kind of ultrasound or anything like that. So I was definitely a little nervous going in, but not nervous about pain. I didn't think it was gonna be painful, but just about like the unknown of not knowing what I was gonna experience. Everything was fine. Basically pain-free. It felt a little bit at the beginning of the ultrasound like she was just like going through the motions and doing something that she does like a million times a day and like kind of expected me to know what was happening. But then as soon as she realized that it was like my first time, she like slowed way down and talked through everything that was happening. She helped me get into like a good position so that everything would be comfortable, and yeah, it was fine. The next test that I have to do is next week, and I am so scared for it. Also, you can tell I just got my period because I'm breaking out so bad. My skin is just like next level horrible at the moment, but I can only focus on like one health issue at a time. So I just like can't deal with it right now, so we're just letting it be. But yeah, next week I have a sonohistogram. It's not spelled like that, but that's how they keep saying it. I had to sign a separate consent form for that exam, and when I was signing that form, it mentioned that there would be discomfort. And what I've found from previous medical things in my life is that when they say there's going to be discomfort, that means that there is going to be pain. So I went on Reddit to read about some people's experiences with the sono, and yeah, a lot of people say that it's very bad and very painful. And I looked up like what actually happens during the procedure, and they insert a catheter through your cervix and then use an inflated balloon to keep the catheter in place. and then they insert saline solution through the catheter into your uterus so that they can see the shape of your uterus. And the worst pain that I've ever been in was when I had my IUD inserted, and they insert the little IUD right up into your cervix. It goes poop, opens up, and then the procedure is done. That is the worst pain I have ever been in, having that done. I feel like this is going to feel the same as that because they're putting the catheter into the cervix, and I feel like that's going to be the same as inserting the IUD into the cervix. And like, not only does it need to go in, but then they need to do the scan and like insert the saline solution, and like it's going to be in there for like 5 to 7 to 10 minutes depending. I noticed some women saying online that it was just a little bit uncomfortable, like they just got a little bit crampy and it didn't hurt them. I wonder if those are women who already have had children, and so their cervix is like maybe already like a bit more open, whereas mine is very tightly shut. But it feels good that the tests are starting, and the result of going through all of this like uncomfort and pain is that we're gonna have some answers. So I'll let you guys know how the sono goes. I just had my sono. Will drove me because they said like you need to have someone to take you home. Got the hospital band, got put into the full hospital outfit, so that was like a little bit overwhelming. I wasn't expecting that. Why do people have cars this noisy? Like, you're not cool. Once I got to the office, they separated me from Will and put me in a separate waiting room. I was changed into like my full outfit, and then I had to wait there for a while. And I was very nervous and like almost brought to tears just by like the enormity of the situation that I'm in. And just like fear, I was really afraid. A woman came to get me and brought me into the room and talked me through the whole procedure. And she was really friendly and like kind of made small talk with me to distract me before the doctor got there. And then the doctor came in, asked me a couple of questions, and then we just got right to it. And it was very painful. Feels like really strong cramps, and I just kept thinking to myself, like, I just want it out. Like, I just want it out. I just wanted them to like remove the catheter and just like take it out. It really hurt. Them inserting the saline was really painful, and the women were really nice. One of the women came beside me and like put her hand on my shoulder as they were inserting the catheter, and they kept reminding me to breathe, because even though I was practicing my deep breathing before I went in there to try and calm myself down, I fully was holding my breath after I felt like the initial point of pain, and they were like, keep breathing, keep breathing. And yeah, the biggest takeaway for me was how just like really wonderful and friendly the women were, just like caring. I get afraid that because they're doing these same procedures over and over again, that it just feels like every other day for them. They've done like probably like 8 of the same procedure today, but they really like, yeah, took the time and like genuinely made me feel comfortable. So I'm really grateful for them. But yeah, it was very painful, and I had some like intense cramping immediately afterwards. I'm still feeling it right now. Yeah, those are all the tests. So the next thing we have is our, I guess, like follow-up appointment with my main doctor, who's going to look at my ultrasound images, my urine test samples, my blood test samples, and then the results of the sonohistogram. And we're going to talk about what she sees and what she thinks we should do, and that is in 1 month. So I'll probably see you guys then, unless something else comes up in between.
After Will and I finished all of our tests, we had a meeting with our fertility doctor on November 21st, 2024. This was 17 months into our fertility journey. We went over my test results, and to my great surprise, everything was good. Everything on my ultrasound, my sonohistogram, my blood test, my urine test looked good. I had a high egg count for my age, actually, and Will had good, happy sperm. So there was nothing wrong, and our doctor couldn't tell us why we weren't getting pregnant. She was pretty confident that we would be able to get pregnant in the next year, no problem. I think the normal reaction to this would be to be relieved, but I was left feeling a little unsatisfied by these results. It was really hard to accept that We had been trying for 17 months at this point with no results, and there was no reason or explanation to this. I felt like if we could find something that was wrong, then at least we could try to fix that and create a plan to move forward. But at the end of all of these tests, the results were just to keep trying. It was kind of hard to hear that news in its own way, but obviously in the end, that was good news. 2 weeks after that call, we had another update. I'm going to take a pregnancy test. I don't think I'm pregnant. Will and I have been trying for 16 months, I believe. I was supposed to get my period yesterday, but my period can be a couple days late every once in a while. The only thing is that I haven't really been experiencing any PMS. I almost always have tons of PMS. My temper gets super short and I get cramping kind of a couple days before, and then it kind of goes away and then comes back really bad right before my period starts. And yeah, I haven't really felt any of my PMS symptoms. I did potentially feel some cramping yesterday, which is why I'm feeling like I'm not pregnant, but I figured I would just test because Will's not here. And I just think it would be fun to surprise him with a positive test if that day ever does come. Let's do it, shall we? Another common symptom of PMS that I have is like sore boobs. And I have had that the last couple days, but I know that that's also an early sign of pregnancy, so I don't know if that means anything. I want to be pregnant so that this journey can be over with, but also I'm supposed to be going to meet Kira for drinks in like 2 hours, and this could interfere with that. I'm gonna cry. There's two lines. There's two lines. There's two lines. Can you see? Can you see it? It's there. It's there. Holy shit. Okay. 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 I have a digital too. I'm gonna take a digital. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna chill out. Okay. Let me take the digital. I don't have any more pee left. I feel like I need to drink water. Okay, let's see if I can squeeze out a few drops. No, okay, I dumped out all my pee because I didn't think I was gonna need it again. So I'm gonna chug water and then come back and we'll do the digital. Okay, I just chugged 4 glasses of water. I literally peed in a cup and then dumped it out thinking that the result was going to be negative. Like, it's just negative every time. And now I can't pee again and I need to test again and I can't pee again. Okay, my battery died. We're back. I thought this was a digital test. It's not. Pregnant. Holy shit. 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 Oh my god. I drank my last Negroni the other night for so long. Holy shit. I'm shaking. Okay. It's so fucking crazy, you guys. It's so crazy. I didn't even know. I didn't know how I was gonna feel because I never really like wanted this. I did not want it. Like, I've just been so indifferent for so long, and I feel like excited because we've been trying for so long, and I'm excited to have a little family with Will. I'm so scared to be pregnant and give birth. I'm so scared, but I want to have a little family with Will, and we've been trying for so long. It was literally the first time that we tried since we did our tests, and I swear, like, when the doctor was giving us the results of the tests, the way she was talking to us was like we weren't gonna have to ever talk to her again. Like, she was telling us our results were so good and that she was really confident that we were gonna be able to get pregnant on our own, or at least with just like a little bit of help, and that we weren't gonna have to do IVF ever. She finished that call saying like, goodbye, like, I hope I never see you again, and like, it felt like she knew, like, it felt like she knew that this was gonna happen. I think, was I pregnant during that call? I think, yeah, I was. I ovulated the day before. Oh my god, and I was pregnant when I was with my mom. I wish it would have been fun to take this with my mom. It's so scary. It's so scary. It's such a weird feeling. I feel so weird. My entire life just changed. Like, everything is changed and different. And like, I don't know. I'm scared of miscarrying. I know, like, so many women miscarry and have chemical pregnancies, and especially like when it's your first one, and I'm scared that like we finally did it, but it's gonna not stick. Okay, I've collected myself a bit. I have an idea for how I'm gonna tell him. So we have the tree up, and I just went Christmas shopping today, which he knows. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it literally in a little Christmas gift and then tell him that I have an early Christmas gift for him. And I think it'll throw him off a little bit because he knows that I went Christmas shopping today. So he could think like, oh, I got him something today for him to open. But he also knows that my period is a day late. So I feel like he won't be like, I don't know, he'll be a bit suspicious, but I think that's the best plan. Okay, it's ready. I'm gonna put it under the tree. It's gonna be so dark by then. The sun will have set because it sets at 3:30 p.m. now. So I'm gonna film it and hopefully you guys can see it. My face hurts. My face hurts from clenching. Today, on December the 6th, I took a positive pregnancy test. My first positive pregnancy test, which means I am currently pregnant. Which is fucking crazy.
I'm scared.
You don't have to be scared. It's a present.
But it's so late. It's tickets. I don't want to meet Drake.
You're not gonna meet Drake.
I'm not gonna meet Drake?
No.
Okay, good. That's a nice box. Actually, you're leading me on? No way. That's crazy. Doesn't feel real.
It's real.
When did you know?
Today.
Today?
Yeah. When I got home from the mall.
Did you say you had cramps?
Yeah.
Did you have cramps?
Yeah, I still kind of do.
Why'd you take it?
Because I didn't get my period yesterday. And I didn't have any PMS.
So much better than eating Drake. Holy shit. So boy or girl? We did it! Oh, thank God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. 17th time's the charm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Our life, we're a family.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get excited?
For what?
Our baby?
Of course.
You don't have to wait for 3 months?
No.
Why? You can say we have a baby now?
Yes.
What if you have different types of things?
Then we'll deal with it then.
Wow.
Right from the start, Will and I both knew that the chance of miscarriage or something else going wrong with the pregnancy was very high. When we had our first appointment with our family doctor, she warned us that 25% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. And I actually read online that that number is likely higher because of unreported miscarriages and women who miscarry without even knowing they were pregnant in the first place. But of course, we weren't gonna let that take away our excitement. We shared our happy news with our parents at Christmas and with a few close friends on New Year's Eve. And I made my way into my first trimester. I experienced pretty much every first trimester symptom that you could have. I was so nauseous from the moment I woke up in the morning until I fell asleep at night. I even vomited a few times. I had zero energy to do anything. I was sleeping so much. I had sore and tender breasts. I had to pee all of the time. I had strong food aversions and even some food cravings. I'm not someone with a sweet tooth, but suddenly my sweet tooth was ravenous. My body even started changing. My boobs started growing. My stomach started changing. I was starting to not fit into my pants anymore. And even my face started changing. I was filming a few YouTube videos during this time, and I could tell when I was editing them back that I just was starting to look different. And because of the time that I got pregnant, I had some first trimester testing that was supposed to be done with my doctor. That kind of got pushed. My doctor's office was closed over Christmas and New Year's, and then after that, Will and I did some traveling. So we went away to Blue Mountain for a weekend. We were in Mexico for a week. So by the time I finally went for my first trimester dating scan, I was already 12 weeks pregnant. I did, however, do a blood test and have a pap smear around week 9. So I was confirmed pregnant by my blood test, and my pap smear showed no abnormal cells. So it was around week 12 when I went for my first trimester ultrasound, which normally would have been done around week 7. Hi. It is February 1st, and yesterday was one of the worst days of my life. It was a really hard day. We had our first ultrasound 2 days ago. It was really late. It was on what I thought was the first day of week 12. The ultrasound clinic dated me at 11 weeks, 5 days. Anyways, it was right around 12 weeks. And I was pretty anxious to get my ultrasound done because I had been pregnant for 3 months and I hadn't had a doctor tell me that my baby was okay. And the ultrasound went really bad for lots of different reasons, but I don't need to like go through everything that happened. Basically, the tech told me nothing. We expected Will to be able to come in and listen to the heartbeat and to find out the age of our baby, because it was a dating ultrasound. And I know that ultrasound techs are not supposed to tell you anything about what they see, but every personal experience that I had heard and every experience that I read about online, people got some kind of indication about the health of their baby. Like, even if the technician just said something along the lines of like, oh, there it is, I can see it, or your baby looks healthy, even if they didn't give any, diagnosis or any details about the scan, they at least got some kind of reassurance. And I didn't get any of that. I had to do the scan alone, and they didn't bring Will in afterwards like they said they would. And it was just completely silent. And when I said goodbye, I guess I'm going into some of the reasons why the scan was bad. There were so many of them. But when I said goodbye, the tone in her voice when she said goodbye, it was just so like over the top friendly after she had just been so quiet and cold with me that I had a really bad feeling. So I called my doctor the next day and left a message with the receptionist just saying like, I know that you would only call me if it was bad news, because we were supposed to have an appointment with our OB on Monday, which is just like after the weekend. The test was on Thursday. But I would really appreciate it if the doctor could call me and just tell me also if it's good news, because we just had like kind of a scary scan, and I just like don't want to go through the weekend without any type of reassurance. And then an hour later, the doctor called me, and I didn't know if it was going to be good or bad because I had asked them to call even if it was good news. And she just got straight to it and said, we have to talk about your ultrasound. It's bad news. And we lost the baby. The tech couldn't find a heartbeat, and it was measuring too small. It was measuring at 9 weeks and 3 days. So they guessed that we lost it about 2 weeks ago. And it's really hard. The closer you get to your second trimester, the less chance there is of a miscarriage. And we were so close, like we were at week 12, so it just felt like everything was going to be okay, because I knew that this was a possibility, like from the beginning, from conception. I said it even when I took my pregnancy test, like we have it on video. I said, like, I feel nervous because I feel like I need to experience a miscarriage, because so many women experience a miscarriage with their first pregnancy. And in the last year, 2 of my friends have had miscarriages, and those are just the ones I know about. So I knew that it was a possibility, but we were so close to getting out of the first trimester that it felt like we were in the clear. And at first I was really sad for me and Will, and for our parents. And I felt this like loss of this future that we've been like so excited and talking about for like 3 months straight. And so I felt a lot of loss for ourselves. And then I woke up in the night last night and I was really sad about the actual baby. We were calling it Poppy because in one of the pregnancy apps they tell you every week what the size of your baby is. And I think the second week that we knew that we were pregnant, our baby was the size of a poppy seed. So we started calling it Poppy, and it just kind of stuck. And when I woke up last night, I was really sad for Poppy and about losing Poppy. And it's just really sad. And on top of the loss, now I have a lot of fear because I'm gonna miscarry. It could have happened at any point over the last 2 weeks, which is kind of scary to think about because we were in Mexico. And if I had had a miscarriage in Mexico, it would have been so scary. I would have gone to a Mexican hospital, and just being away from home, it would have been so bad. So I'm grateful that it didn't happen there, and now that I'll be at home, but I'm really scared because I feel like it's gonna be like extremely painful, and I'm scared of what's gonna come out because like we were pretty far along. By 9 weeks, there's quite a lot of development and everything has to come out. So I'm scared of what I'm gonna see, and just like the experience of it happening and everything is really scary. And now I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen. My doctor said, yeah, because it's been like over 2 weeks now, it could happen any day. And honestly, I just want it to happen like sooner rather than later, because I don't want to just be waiting and like living with, like, it's still inside me, and like I like, and like knowing that yeah, it's in there and it's not alive is just not a very good feeling. I just kind of want it out of me. I'm scared for that to happen, so I'm dealing with loss and fear. And Pregnancy is no joke. We spent 2 years to get to this point. And I don't want to spend another 2 years. Especially if it means I'm going to end up back here. So I'm feeling quite defeated, and I was already talking about trying again in a few months, and I don't know if I can. Will's been the best, obviously. He's like so supportive, and he's obviously also very sad, and he's just like a great comfort for me. It's so hard. It's so hard. It was so hard to be pregnant. I was so sick for 3 months, and it was not only all for nothing, but I was so sick and tired, and it was all just leading me towards this, like, this is what I got for it. Pregnancy is no joke. And, you know, I was scared to do it for these reasons. I didn't want to go through the pregnancy, and I was scared of these experiences, and I feel like, you know, I was right. Whatever, that doesn't matter. I don't care about that, but I just feel, I don't know if it's worth everything that we've been through in the last 2 years. I was planning my announcement video and telling you guys that I was pregnant, and like sharing with all of our extended friends and family, and Will was getting ready to tell his work, and I was getting ready to tell my clients, like, cancel weddings that I have booked for later in the summer when I was supposed to be due. And we were literally like a week away from all of that, and we're here instead. So yeah. So I ended up having a missed miscarriage, which is when the baby dies inside your body, but your body doesn't realize it. So your body continues to think that it's pregnant, and you don't actually physically miscarry the baby for quite some time. Missed miscarriages are almost always found on an ultrasound. My doctor said I could go for a D&C, which is a medical procedure to eliminate the pregnancy, or I could wait for nature to take its course. She told me that because it had already been 2 weeks since the baby had passed, that it should happen sort of any day now, was her phrasing. And a D&C is not something that I ever want to have to go through, and because I had this option to do it naturally, I decided to do it that way. It's not a busy time of year for me with work, so I had the time and the space to be able to stay home and sort of wait for it to happen. And I ended up waiting for 2 full weeks for the miscarriage to actually happen itself. It was a really, really dark time. I didn't know what was coming, and that was really emotionally challenging. I'm gonna actually talk about a few details of the miscarriage now, so if you don't want to hear about that, you can skip to this point in the video. I had bleeding and cramping for about 12 days before the miscarriage itself actually happened. I didn't go far from home during this time because I didn't want to be out of the house when the miscarriage came on. So I spent a lot of time in bed. I watched a lot of Friends. I played a lot of Stardew Valley on my Switch. One thing that I'm grateful for is that I had the time between when I found out I was going to miscarry and when I actually miscarried to come to terms with the fact that it was going to happen. I knew it was coming, so I felt like I could mentally prepare myself for it. I was so afraid. I was so scared to actually go through the physical process of the miscarriage when I first found out and when I was first reading online about what that process could entail. But by the time it actually happened, I think that I was ready for it, or as ready as maybe anybody could be. I literally gave birth to my 9.5-week-old baby and my 14-week-old placenta. The pain level was quite high. I get really bad period cramps every single month, and the feeling was quite similar to sort of the worst peaks of those. If you are not someone who gets period cramps on a regular monthly basis, then I think the pain will be pretty shocking for you. But if you are someone who experiences quite bad menstrual cramps, then I think you're gonna be ready. You can handle it. The worst of the cramping also didn't last for very long. I'd say maybe about 45 minutes or so. I bled a lot, like more blood than I have ever seen in my life, and more than I was expecting, even though I was told that there would be a lot of blood. It was pretty shocking. And afterwards, honestly, you guys, I felt so good. Waiting those 2 weeks from when I found out I was gonna miscarry to when I actually did miscarry was so difficult. I was so tense all of the time. My face and my jaw were so sore. My whole body was just in this constant state of tension. And so when everything was over, I just felt so much relief. As I wrote the script for this video, I made a note that it had been about 10 days since it happened, and it still felt really heavy. It's been about 2 weeks since I wrote the script to when I'm filming this video now, and with every day that goes by, it does get easier. It does feel better. I think it's gonna take a really long time for both me and Will to really truly get over what happened, but it gets easier with time. It does. The entire experience from when we first started trying to have a baby to now has been really heavy and tough, honestly. For sure, there were moments of levity, finding out I was pregnant and sharing that news with the people that I love, and experiencing growing that little baby inside of me were like high points, of course, for sure. But it's been one of the most difficult things that I've ever been through, both emotionally and physically. And I truly am exhausted. I'm exhausted from it all. I am overwhelmed. I feel I don't have anything in me left to give towards my future. I just really need to live in the now right now. Will and I are both just still trying to recover from everything that happened, and while we do that, we're just gonna take a pause. We're taking a little pause from thinking about our future, planning for what we want, how we want our life to look. We had been house hunting. I mentioned it sort of cryptically in a vlog, and we're putting a pause on that. We have decisions to make about our fertility journey, but we're just not gonna make them right now. I need some time to myself, and I need to not worry about what's coming for a while. I need to be just me, doing the things that I love, living my life the way that I want to, just for a little while. I don't want to care about or worry about what's next, including whether or not we're gonna try again, honestly. For now, I'm just being. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you are a regular viewer of mine, I hope that this gives some explanation as to where I've been for the last few months. It was really tough to film and create content while I was in my first trimester and feeling so sick all of the time. And then obviously going through the miscarriage was pretty traumatic and dramatic. So yeah, it just took a little break, but I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you in a new video very soon. Bye guys.